Thank you very much. Welcome to the Special Council Executive Committee. Can I take any apologies, please?
Chairman, there aren't any apologies.
Thank you. Minutes of the last meeting. Just want to confirm the meeting minutes. They're on pages 5 to 8. Any comments? Any objections? Alterations?
Haven't met since last year.
Thank you. Any declarations of interest? No. Public question time? No. Member question time? Now we are here to set the council tax. Anthony?
It's the tax base, not council tax. As you're all aware, the tax base is the number of houses that we have in the parish in Band B equivalents, and how they, so that when we come up with the amount of money that we need to raise from council taxpayers, we have a denominator to divide that amount into, coming up with the Band B equivalent that we would charge Band B households, and then based on multiples, all of the other ones as well. So I think, as you can see here on page 9, 64,430 properties, and because we have more properties that are bigger than Band B, we've got 68,774.8 equivalent properties. So it also, this number's also been influenced because I mentioned earlier about council tax benefit. When that was delegated to us, there was a change in the way that things were calculated. So that's another matter for another time.
Thank you.
I'll take any questions.
Yes. Any questions? Well, in that case,
I'm not moving, don't worry. Not this one.
The recommendation that the Special Committee, Council Executive Committee, is asked to agree the proposed council tax, approve the proposed allocation of 80,000.
Do you want me to explain that 80,000, or are you?
Yes.
When we received a grant from the government, 165,000, which we have reduced to 80, even we've done it year after year, even though we only got it once, and it is a grant that we provide to parishes in order to mitigate against some of the impacts of this change, as I was referring to earlier, to the tax base, which has impacted the ability of parishes to raise precept.
And the third recommendation to approve the proposed reduction in grant to the parishes. If you're all happy with all the recommendations, can we take a vote? Sorry.
Just to clarify, I raised this last year and I was told we don't have to declare the fact that I am a parish councillor, and I think Keith is a town councillor. We don't have to declare it, we are allowed to vote on this thing that affects parishes.
So should we take a vote?
Yes.
Okay. All those in favour? Thank you. That's good. The next item is Council Tax Reduction Scheme. Do you want to say anything more on that?
I'll talk you through this one. I've referred to this a couple of times earlier. This is a scheme that we have localised from central government, and which increasingly falls completely on the council taxpayer as our government grant is withdrawn. We have reviewed and consulted on some minor changes to the scheme, which are set out in the recommendations, and the principle is that everybody pays a bit, and that where there are more than one working adult in a household, that the fact that the other adult is working is taken into account in assessing the benefits and granting the benefit. We do have a hardship fund, so though there are rules, we are very concerned that we don't have a situation that people are unduly penalised, and I would hope that the cases that we saw in court recently, where councils did have a hardship fund but on spare room subsidy but didn't exercise it, I would hope in working we will take it.
Thank you. Any questions?
Right, so near enough to me. We've just done the minutes of last year's meeting on this subject, where you'll notice on page 6 that I commented that I thought last year's scheme was fair because, unlike some other authority schemes, it did not try and extract money from people who had got the least. Unfortunately, now that's what you're going to do. I am slightly disappointed in this paper. I can see justification for some of the things that are being proposed, restricting the awards to Band D. It is hard to argue for higher bands, although there may be people who find themselves suddenly out of a job and unable to pay and can't sell their house and things. But the other provisions seem fairly sensible. The reason why Wokingham did not originally say it would try to extract money from everybody is that not everybody will be able to have money extracted from them because they haven't got it. And therefore, what we risk doing is opening up a hole in our council tax collection fund. And I fear that that is what will happen. We will either be prosecuting more people for not paying their council tax, having expensive court proceedings or attachments to their benefits and all sorts of other things which will go against the saving that we're theoretically going to get from trying to extract the money from them. So I regret that a great deal, but I also regret the fact that the way the report is worded suggests that this has come out of a consultation, but no details of the consultation outcomes are given. So we don't know how many people responded or what they said, and it doesn't say that everybody thought it was a good idea to make everybody pay. It actually says, as the key views arising from the consultation is that the respondents generally supported the tightening of restrictions. That's a very different thing. And I would be very unhappy if I discovered that you've got, say, 25 respondents and none of them had actually supported this bit of it, or if they had, it hadn't been explained to them what all the consequences were. So while I'm quite supportive of the other parts of it, I can't vote for B. I think it's a mistake.
My recollection is that the majority of respondents did support the principles set out in B. And so just to give you some reassurance on that, I can try and get you some of the percentages if that's helpful. But I think we have been very cautious. Reading and some of the other authorities in Berkshire are already taking 15% and actually pushing towards 20%. So I think that we are following rather than leading on that one. And I think we're comfortable that, given the nature of where the economy is currently, that is probably fair. And as I said earlier, we have a difficult financial environment ahead of us, and to some extent everyone has to contribute.
Thank you. Any other queries, questions? Okay, can I ask the Council to approve the following then? There are 4 recommendations there. I can read them all out, but they're all on your page now, 13. Can I ask for your approval or disapproval? Can I take a vote, please, in favour? Anybody against?
I'm not going to vote against it. As I said, I agree with most of it, but I can't agree with that.
Please. Thank you very much. And that concludes the Special Council Executive Committee. Thank you very much. Thank you.